Uh, Thank you, Caro, for that presentation. I continue with the social sector. And in the social sector, we are looking at the housing. I'll also talk about land and environment, water, and a bit in agriculture. So I think there has been a lot of debate with regard to housing, particularly when this government started the tax on housing. There has been a lot of debate about it. But one thing that is actually clear is opaqueness in the implementation of the housing tax, because those people who are actually contributing to the housing tax, they will not benefit from it. And that one even became out very clear on Wednesday when there was this big debate about the Kenya Kwanza performance. There has also been promise on the limited access to mortgage finance due to soaring of interest rates. Just as the governor presented, there has been an increase in the interest rates. So that one is making it difficult for those people who want to own homes through mortgage to access because of the high interest rates. And then there have also been the issue of land titling, and there has been one case in Samburu where people were issued a title and then those issues were actually revoked. And then the house affordability, that is the rent which people pay, has actually increased due to the high cost of, to the low cost of income. But there is one perspective that I want to bring. We have been debating a lot about the issue of housing, but from the report from the government intends to raise through taxes, that is housing tax. It is actually supposed to generate 73 billion. But the government targets to construct 250 million houses. No, 250,000 houses. What does that mean? On average, the unit cost per house is 292,000. The big question is, what kind of a decent house can you build with 292,000? Let me give a very practical example. If you have just started, maybe sometimes you bought a small plot in Syokimau, or even a small plot in Kitengela, in Rangao, in Onkaterongai, because in Rongai now you cannot get a house just next to the main road. You have to move to cross the river and go to a place we call Rangao or even Tuala. If you have that 1/8 plot that you bought, and you just because for a middle income family, an ideal house is a 2-bedroom house. If you are to build a 2-bedroom house in Langao or in Kitengela, it will roughly cost you 1.5 million. So if that is the case, then with the 73 billion, which the government wants to use to construct 250, it can only, they will be very lucky to construct 50,000 houses per year. Because if you divide 73 billion by 1.5 million, that one will be about 49 point something. So this government will be very lucky to construct 50,000 houses. So that target will not be met. And it is, and we even do not know who will benefit from the few that will be constructed. So that one, the issue of housing, no wonder there is a proverb who says that is a stupid idea. I may not be at the luxury of using that language, lakini jijazie wewe mwenyewe. And then there is the issue of water. As we have seen, since this government took over power, they have been running to open small. In fact, the amount of money that they spent to go and open a tap of water is more than the money that was used to construct that project of water. So why waste so much? And sometimes they even use a helicopter to go and open a water tap in Kiambu. So you can see. And I can even go back to the housing that I have just mentioned. When you talk about the 73 billion, we are not sure how much money will be used for administrative cost. Because even to go and open a housing scheme in Ruai, they will have to use helicopters. So The 73 billion may actually not go directly to the construction of the houses. They'll be, because there'll be so many administrative costs. So we are waiting at the end of the year when Kenya National Bureau of Statistics publish this statistics through the economic survey. We shall see how many houses have been constructed by the government using that money. But as you can see, it's very serious. So the other thing that I would like to talk about, the water towers are very important. That is where the rivers that actually supply us with water, they raise from the Mau Highlands, the Aberdares, the Cherangani, Elgon, even some parts of Kilimanjaro, even the Mount Kenya and what have you. But you see, this is very ironical in our country. When we are in an international conference, we pretend to be climate change experts. We even host an international conference on climate change. But internally, we are allowing people to log. So what does that mean? We want to attract credit, inaitwa carbon credit money, but we are destroying our own natural resources, which give rise to our water. Remember, Kenya is a water deficient country. So when we start experiencing drought, it is because we are not managing it is because of our reckless decision of allowing logging to continue. So, and then there is the issue of agriculture. Okay, just as the governor said, if in this year we have, we can hear the politicians in Kenya bragging all through that there will be bumper harvest. But it is not because of fertilizer, but that bumper harvest is because of good rainfall. So, instead of putting measures to stop relying on rain-fed agriculture, we are still talking about fertilizer all the time. And the other thing, just as the governor said, we have to link whatever I am presenting, I link it to what the governor said. He talked about how the cost of living is going up. But the cost of living is worsened when the prices of goods and services go up, and at the same time, your income also goes down. How is that happening? The farmers, the prices being paid for tea, coffee, macadamia, and other products, they're actually going down. So that one is actually worsening the cost of living. And a lot needs to be done with regard to that. So I have also talked about that. But finally, in fact, I am the presenter who has taken the shortest time possible, because I am always a man of very few words. But, that one is not in our slide. But there is one mess that we are doing as a country. As we all know, everybody in Kenya, we have always been talking about Vision 2030. And Vision 2030 is about 6 years to end. 2030 is just about 6 years to come to an end. And even we have been planning using Vision 2030. But since Kenya Kwanza took over government, when we left the government in December, we were supposed to have come up with medium-term plan 4, which runs from 2023 up to 2027. It is the one that is used to implement the Vision 2030, or the projects in the Vision 2030. But so far, the budget has been read, but there is no medium-term plan that has been launched for the government to start planning and also meeting the aspiration of Vision 2030. And even the Finance Act is very clear. Before any government ministry or even agency is allocated money by the National Treasury, the PFX says that you must have a plan. Even for the county government, for them to start receiving money from the national government to implement their plans, they must have what we call the county integrated development plans. But when at the national level we have not allowed the medium-term plan, we don't expect the counties to follow a good example of the national government. So the implementation of Vision 2030 under the KK government is actually doomed. I rest my case.